All right, everybody, we're back with another episode of Related to the Game. As always, Ben here, joined with my co-host, brother-in-law, Prasan. We're back a week earlier than our normal schedule. Throughout these NFL playoffs here, we're going to drop weekly episodes. There's just so much to talk about, and it's a lot of fun. So, we can dive right into it. We're going to get into the Wildcard weekend, wild weekend. Tons of great games. Lots of reactions we'll have there, I'm sure. Look ahead to the divisional round now that we know the matchups. We'll give a lock of the week here, and then we'll finally get to a little bit of college football talk at the end here. Talk some national championship game and whatever else is on our minds. So I guess we can dive right into it. What a wild card weekend, huh?
Crazy wild card weekend. I mean, it was everything that it lived up to be. We finished last week saying, looks like the best wild card slate we've had in a long time, and it lived up to that. It really, really, really lived up to that. We had really even the game I thought that was going to be kind of a blowout ended up being a great game. So overall, everything that I wanted it to be, and we got everything we expected from it, I think. So what was your biggest takeaway from Wildcard Weekend, or favorite game, or just most exciting thing from the playoffs so far?
Well, I mean, it's Packers-Bears. Not my favorite, I'll tell you that, though. Holy cow. You were at my house for the game, and, man, the vibes were high. We were chilling up there, 21-3. It's just like we knew we could do this to them, and we're doing it. Like, now we just have to not blow it. And then we missed the kick going into halftime. Okay, it's a 55-yarder. He made the kick before the timeout and then missed it. That sucked. But then you go into halftime and you come out, Packers ball. And I didn't really say anything, but kind of just sitting there thinking, this is where a classic Matt LaFleur third quarter of doing nothing is exactly what the Bears need. And the Packers come out, go 3 plays punt, 3 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 3 plays punt. And the defense does their job. We go in, it's 21-9 in the fourth quarter after all those possessions. You can't ask more from the defense. And the whole game I was saying we're sitting at 21 points. This is not even close to enough points to win this game. We go down, we score the touchdown, missed extra point, okay, whatever. 27 points. I'm still sitting there saying, I don't think this is enough points to win the game. The offense has to win this game. The defense isn't going to win it for us. And offense doesn't get it done. Defense continues to allow touchdowns. Credit where credit is due. That 4th and 8 Caleb Williams throw was insane. To like one where he's getting chased down, falling down, like 35 yards to Odunze. Ridiculous play. But just what a collapse. What was your takeaway as a neutral in this one?
I said before halftime, or right at halftime, I said, what better half could you expected? Yeah, you missed the kick right before half, but other than that, like it was a flawless half for the most part from the Packers. I think your analysis is right. My point on the game, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to formally apologize to Jordan Love. I was fully ready to come on here this week if Jordan Love had a bad game and just absolutely shred the guy. I mean, that was what I honestly expected to happen if the Packers lost the game. And he didn't. I mean, he played well. He threw for over 350 yards. He threw for 4 touchdowns. There were a couple times in there that he was, going to be throwing for that 5th touchdown or which would have broken a record. So Jordan Love played well. Jordan Love did everything he needed to do to play to win the game. The Packers defense, I thought, was coming into the game was going to play better than they did. I know there were injuries and things like that. The Bears didn't punt all game. They played an entire game of football and did not punt. So I think that says something too about the Packer defense just didn't do their job.
I will say on that, partially due to Ben Johnson's stupidity going for it on 4th and 5
Good
from
point.
his own 35 in the second quarter.
That's
So
fair. Good point. Good
They
point.
definitely
Yeah.
earned a punt or two, and the Bears
Chose
just
not
went
to.
for it.
Sure.
But yeah,
Sure. Good point. Good point. Yeah, I mean the Packers had opportunities to win the game, and not only were they in the driver's seat. I mean, I think it was a major coaching issue there. I mean, Matt LaFleur, like you said, did what he does best and up at halftime and took the foot off the gas, right? And that's the last thing you can do against these Bears. You should know that coming in. I mean, not only did you fall victim to it earlier in the year, but other teams have too. And so coming into the game now, you should know, hey, we're up, but that doesn't matter. We got to keep the foot on the gas. And I think this is what he does poorly, Matt LaFleur, as a coach, is he plays down to his opponent once he has a lead, and that you can't do that.
yeah. So that kind of a fiery topic amongst fans lately is the fire Matt LaFleur or extend him. I mean, the news broke, I think it was today or yesterday, that they are planning to engage in extension talks. So we'll see where that leads. But from my perspective, I'm kind of torn because when that game ended, yes, we just absolutely collapsed and blew it. But I was honestly thinking, I want to put money on the Packers to win the Super Bowl next year. Run this thing back with Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft and Zach Tom, and we have the talent. It's just you just gotta put it together at the right time. So that was my first thought, and then the next day I'm sitting there thinking, I've had enough of this garbage of just, I don't know if the team's just soft mentally and or physically, but it's just time and time again. You have a lead, you're playing better than the other team, and then a switch flips and you just give the game away.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of torn. I'm leaning towards wanting to keep him, but yeah, you can share your thoughts.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur, I think he's a really, really good offensive play caller. He does great at calling the plays. I think that's not his issue. I think his issue is all the other stuff, the big picture stuff, running the team, looking at the big overview and big picture of things is where he struggles. And, I saw a lot of Packer fans this week saying, we should let Matt LaFleur hire a good offensive coordinator, take Matt LaFleur out of calling plays and let him focus on big picture stuff. And I don't think that's the solution. I don't think you do that because I think calling plays is what he's good at. Why would you take him out of that and have him just do everything he's bad at? I don't think the stuff he's bad at, he's going to get better at. I think everything else is it's kind of too far gone for him. I think he's good at calling plays, and I think that's what he needs to do.
I am with you 100% there. That his ability to come up with a game plan and call plays is what he's best at. Now, what he's not best at is maintaining aggression throughout the game management, timeouts. Timeouts were an issue. We wasted 2 timeouts in the second half.
Yeah.
One for a personnel issue and one, I don't remember what it was, a play clock running down, I believe. So and then just the culture. He doesn't instill a culture of toughness or violence. He's all about scheming up the other team, and he's really good at it. But
that's not what
is
you
that
want
what you need
coach,
as a head coach?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. The problem is you have to promote people in order to retain them or acquire them from other teams.
Sure.
People don't make lateral moves. So you can't go get like if other teams want Jeff Hafley from the Packers defensive coordinator, they can't hire him as a defensive coordinator. They have to hire him as a head coach. Where some guys, like I believe Matt LaFleur, is best suited as an offensive coordinator with play calling responsibilities, where he can
Right.
just cook up a game plan, and then the head coach can be in his ear telling him, hey, you better go score a touchdown this drive. Not him thinking, oh man, if we just get a couple first downs and burn some clock, maybe we'll win because they will run out of time. No, you need that aggression. Um, so yeah, I think they will keep him. I'm leaning towards thinking that's the right decision, but yeah, there's got to be, I don't know, send him to train him up with someone that'll tell him to stay aggressive. I don't know, but
Yeah. Yeah, something needs to change there for sure. I agree with you. I think they're going to keep him. I don't think that's the right decision, but something needs to change there for sure.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, disappointing season. All it could have been. We were basically crowned Super Bowl champs after the second week of the season. 2-0. Micah Parsons. Life was good. And yeah,
Yeah,
quite the
not
train
great all
crash
around.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, not
But
great all around there, I would say for sure. Disappointing end of the season for sure.
yeah.
So all right, we can move on here to the rest of the playoffs. The
Yeah,
NFC.
we better
We'll
keep her
going.
moving.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Rams Carolina. I mean, Rams and Carolina, great game. I mean, going into that game, everybody kind of thought sitting around, hey, this is not going to be a great game for sure. It's the reason it's on Saturday at 3:30. The second half score was tied. I mean, they tied 17-17 in points scored in the second half, which is actually opposite what I thought. I thought, hey, we're probably going to see a close game going into half, and then all of a sudden, the Rams are going to pull away, and they just never did. They never pulled away. Carolina kept it close. Credit to Bryce Young. Who kept him in the game, played well. Stafford played quietly well. It didn't feel like he was playing super well throughout the game, but threw for 350 and 3 touchdowns. So had a good game. Puka Nacua was himself, went off. I think
Shout out
overall
Jalen Coker out there for the Panthers.
Jalen Coker had a really, really good game also. And so just a good receiving game. And I think the future's bright for Carolina. I think that the Rams are obviously Super Bowl favorites still, or in the mix, I should say, for the Super Bowl. Nobody's gonna discredit the Panthers and shouldn't. But the Rams were almost inevitable in this game. They were going to win the game, is what it felt like. But yeah, credit to Carolina. It was a great game.
Yeah, they made him earn it. It came down to needing a Stafford game-winning drive, and he delivered. And his ability to deliver in those situations is why I liked the Rams for my Super Bowl champions. But yeah, great showing from the Panthers. Yeah, made a lot of people respect them for
Yeah.
backing up their performance in the regular season against the Rams. One thing to keep an eye on, Matthew Stafford hurt his hand in that game. Seemed to affect him for a little bit, had some missed throws, but like you said, had a good game overall. I saw a headline, he's going to be good to go for the Bears game. So that'll be a good one coming ahead. But yeah, we can go on to the next game of the weekend, which was, well, we already talked Packers-Bears, so it'd be Bills-Jags. And just another good game. I mean, I had picked the Jaguars coming in red hot, and you had the Bills, and based on Josh Allen being a superhero, and he was. He did it.
He was, for sure.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised at this point. He is a special player and came through in every way they needed him. Even with the running game not really getting going, James Cook did not have a big day on the ground. But Josh Allen gets it done. How about that 10-yard tush push to set up the game-winning touchdown? That was ridiculous.
It's funny that the Bills voted to ban the tush push, and then here they are, right, running the tush push. They scored 2 touchdowns on it. They got a 10-yard tush push to set up one of the touchdowns, and I think they ran it a couple other times on a couple fourth downs that was 4th and 1 or so. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Bills should apologize for that. But I agree. I agree with you. Buffalo, man, I mean, as we talked about, feels like it's got to be the year for them. But, man, are they just not set up well for that? They've got Josh Allen. He's going to have to play superhero in what feels like every game. James Cook did not rush the ball well last week or have many receiving yards or anything like that either. You look at their receivers, I mean, it was already depleted to begin with. Gabe Davis tore his ACL in the game. So now you've got Brandon Cooks is possibly your wide receiver 1, maybe you argue Khalil Shakir. But really the 2 of them, you're going to have to rely on Kincaid and Knox. So
I couldn't even name another one of their receivers. I mean, it's those 2. It's all that's left, and then I guess is Keon Coleman healthy? He might be, but
Keon Coleman's there. He had a couple catches in the game, so he's there.
He's there.
So he is on the team.
Yeah. So we'll see. It was a good game. Tough end of the season for the Jaguars. They had a great season. Liam Cohen really got those guys going, and almost beat the Bills in the playoffs. I mean, they were right there. Came down to tipped pass.
I said last week, if the Buffalo defense showed up when needed, they'd win the game, and they did. I mean, that's what happened. And I honestly, when Jacksonville took the field, 2-ish minutes left to go, I'm like, okay, here they go. They're gonna go down the down the field and score, and Josh Allen's gonna have 45 seconds to do some magic. And they showed up when they needed it, got the interception. So credit to the Bills defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so next up would be the Niners-Eagles. You can go first. Share your thoughts there.
Oh, I'll share my thoughts there. Man, did I see this one coming. I mean, San Francisco, man, I love them. I love San Francisco. I love them to keep winning. It's going to be harder with the Kittle injury, obviously. But, my decision on that game, or my pick on the game, was, San Francisco's been playing well, but that decision was more based on the Eagles, and the Eagles just not being that good. Their fans all year have been calling for their offensive coordinator to get fired. They hate the play call. They hate the scheme that they have there. And it showed again. I mean, really not great play calling on the Eagles side. A.J. Brown, obviously a couple tough drops in that game. And it just feels like the chemistry's not there in Philadelphia anymore, with the players, the coaches, all of it. I mean, obviously their offensive coordinator was fired today, so it seems like the organization's listening to that. But I think San Francisco played really well. Defensively, they played really well with a few injuries on the defense also. Prayers up for George Kittle. That's really, really unfortunate. I'd love to see him continue throughout the playoffs, obviously, but they're gonna have to do without him, and I still like him. I like the chemistry they have there, and I think it was a great game.
Mm-hmm. The train wreck ending to the train wreck season for the Eagles, just never could put it all together. What do you think about Nick Sirianni? Do you think he's on the hot seat?
I think no. I think they'll give him another. They'll give him another season. I think he needs to have a season with a better offensive coordinator. I think he brings the attitude to Philadelphia that they need, that they want in their head coach there. I don't think people are as upset with Sirianni as they were with the offensive coordinator and the play calling. So I think Sirianni gets another year. I think if they miss the playoffs next year, or if they, another one and done in the playoffs, I think then he's on the hot seat, but I think he'll be all right this year.
Yeah, I agree with the OC being fired. It's pretty clear they're going to stick with Sirianni and try to get a new offensive coordinator in there. And turn things around on that side of the ball. But yeah, I think this upcoming season is a prove it season for Sirianni to
Yeah.
prove that he's bringing value to the team through, like you said, mentality, and see if he can get the locker room together and everyone working as a team in there. So yeah, Niners move on. I had the Eagles picked. I thought they'd maybe throw it together for a game or two, but obviously not the case. Niners get it done. Um, Chargers Patriots Sunday night, and did we ever get another playoff Herbert performance? Wow, you get 2 games, and everyone's like, "Oh, playoff Herbert," and you're like, "Well, he's had 2 playoff games. The one was really bad, 4 picks, but the first one, I mean, you had a 27-point lead in that first one, and that's due to the offense, and then the defense lets them back in it, and the offense stalls out. But he goes out there and puts up another dud, and it's like, at what point is it really is there some truth to the meme, I guess, of playoff Herbert just not showing up? I mean, I saw today the Chargers fired their offensive coordinator, so maybe he's a scapegoat, maybe he was the problem. But yeah, I mean, the Patriots offense didn't look great by any means, but their defense played well and carried them through. It ended up being a relatively comfortable win, and good for them. They get to host another playoff game.
Yeah, I think, this was a disappointing game. I mean, we were 7-ish minutes away from not having a touchdown in that game. Obviously, Drake May threw one to Hunter Henry, which was the only touchdown in the game. Overall, very, very defensive, which is not what I thought the game would be. I think the problem with the Chargers is I think Justin Herbert actually is like decent. I don't think Justin Herbert's as bad as people are making him out to be in the playoffs. The Chargers' biggest problem is their offensive line. I mean, they need to get some people to block for him. There might be a play calling issue and there might be other issues there, but their biggest problem is Justin Herbert has no time back there. I get it. You need to make plays and figure it out, but he can help the guy also. So that's their biggest problem there. New England, Drake May doesn't have to play a lot better. I mean, he did not play well in the game. He got obviously the one touchdown, threw for a little over 250. But, he didn't make the plays when he needed to throughout the game. And, you're going up now in an AFC with, Denver, Buffalo, and Houston, and you're gonna to beat any of those teams, you're gonna have to play better. So overall, I think it was a disappointing game. The team that should have won the game won the game, but we're looking for them to play better next week, hopefully.
For sure. So that takes us to the Monday night game, final one of the wild card round, Texans Steelers, and holy defense, that Texans. I was pretty happy watching that one unfold just because that's exactly how I thought it would. Just Steelers never had any chance of getting anything going. They had the night game at home Steelers vibes, crazy things happening. C.J. Stroud couldn't catch a snap, had a couple other fumbles, threw a pick in the red zone, and Steelers score 6 points. I mean, just domination from the Texans defense. I would not want to play the Texans. I'd be scared of getting shut out because that defense is just aggressive all over the place.
They scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they outscored the Steelers by themselves. The offense could have taken knees and punted. Might have been better.
Yeah, it might have been better. I mean, we've got that it was actually for most of the game, it was a close game. It was a bad close game. It wasn't like a, 35-30, like, offensive show. It was a very defensive close game. Like you said, CJ Stroud, I think he dropped the snap 4 times, had a couple turnovers. Pittsburgh just couldn't get anything going, as we said last week, and what we expected. Rodgers had no time back there. So yeah, and then I mean it was a close game until the fourth quarter, and then the Houston defense scored 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden it was, oh my gosh, this game's like a double-digit lead now. So, yeah, I would not want to play the Houston defense. I'm worried for Drake May. I really am. I think if he plays anywhere near how he played last week, I think the Patriots lose that game. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in our divisional preview in a little bit, but yeah, the defense is stifling.
Yeah. Yeah, the CJ Stroud's going to have to get his act together, get some stick 'em on those hands or something, and find a way to hang on to the football if they want a chance to win. But yeah, crazy end of the season for the Steelers. Tomlin's gone. Aaron Rodgers, who knows? Kind of uncharted territory for the Steelers, looking for a new head coach for like the third time in the last 40 years. So that'll be an interesting scenario playing out here.
I'll ask this question, and we can dive more into it next time with our NFL coaching carousel, but John Harbaugh doesn't go to Pittsburgh, right? John Harbaugh can't go to Pittsburgh in a division rival.
Just before recording this, I saw it was the Ravens owner was in a press conference, and someone asked him about Mike Tomlin, and he laughed about it and said like, haha, yeah, we'll take him as long as the Steelers take John Harbaugh. Just swap coaches. Keep the rivalry going between them. So that would be awesome.
Be something. It would be awesome.
Yeah, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Think he's done? Think he's gonna do another season?
I think if he would have lost the regular season finale against Baltimore, I think he'd have been done. I think the fact that he made the playoffs, I think he's got one more in him. I think, I should clarify. I thought that when Tomlin was still there, I think, hey, maybe he plays one more in Pittsburgh. Now with Tomlin gone, I don't know. He still could go somewhere else, obviously, and play. But yeah, I think he plays one more because he knows, hey, I can still make the playoffs. I still played fairly well this year. I think if he goes, I think where he needs to go, though, I mean, he's got to go to like a contender with like a loaded offense. I hate to say it, but Minnesota would be a great fit for him, I think, for one season. He's got a loaded offense there. He's got a lot of talent. That would be great. And then McCarthy can sit behind him and learn a little bit from him, too. I think Minnesota's a great fit. But yeah, I think he does play one more season somewhere.
Yeah, I think he plays again, and yeah, I think if Minnesota wants him, if they want to sit JJ McCarthy for another year and figure it out after the fact, he would want to go there because that team just went 9-8 with abysmal quarterback play.
Yeah.
Even if he can be an average quarterback, that's a scary team. That defense is good.
Yeah.
The offense has weapons. So, yeah, I think he either goes to the Vikings if the Vikings want to go that route, or depending on, well, I guess I don't know if Mike Tomlin will end up. I think I saw that since he wasn't fired, the Steelers still have the rights to him. So it would have to be a trade situation for him to go coach somewhere else. So, I don't know if he'll be coaching somewhere or not, but if he is, I wouldn't be surprised if Rodgers would want to follow him. Because
that could be too.
He really kind of gets along with Tomlin there. So
I also feel like Aaron Rodgers is someone that, like, needs a farewell tour, like for himself. Like he's gonna be like make theatrics of it, like this is my final time and final season. Like he's not just gonna like say tomorrow like, hey, I'm retiring. Like he's gonna need a farewell tour for himself. So I don't know, I feel like we'll get that.
Yep, I agree. All right. That kind of wraps up the wild card weekend there in a nutshell.
I just want to
Yeah,
say I
just
went 6-0. I went 6-0 in picks.
yep, yeah. Recap: Prasan went 6-0. I went 3-3. Tough outing for
Yikes.
me, um, including the Packers collapse. Um, so hopefully, I will say my two Super Bowl teams are still in the mix here. So
All right.
you never know. We'll see. Um, but yeah, we can move on here to the divisional round. Talk about the matchups a little bit now that we know who's playing who. Um, First up would be Bills going to Denver to play the Broncos. What are your thoughts on that one?
Bills going to Denver. I like the Bills. I think the Denver defense is somewhat scary. I think Josh Allen's going to get sacked. Like he just needs to know going into the game he's going to get sacked. They are crazy. I mean, their defense, they have 4 players with 7 sacks or more, and Nick Benito has 14 sacks. So they sack the quarterback a lot. Buffalo, not the best offensive line. Josh Allen obviously can use his feet and run, but I think, yeah, the Denver defense is going to get their sacks. So Josh Allen's going to have to overcome that. He's going to have to, again, be Superman with his legs. He's going to have to throw the ball well. I think James Cook's going to have to play a lot better. I like Denver. I like Cook to rebound. I like Allen to keep being Superman, rather, I like Buffalo over Denver. But it's going to be a good game. I mean, you always worry with the team coming off a bye week if they're going to struggle, have a little bit of a slump. I think Denver will. I think Bo Nix will, and so hopefully the Bills are able to capitalize on that a little bit early on. But yeah, overall, I like Denver. I don't know why I keep saying that. I like Buffalo over Denver, and I think Josh Allen will figure it out and pull it out.
Yeah, I like the Bills in this one too. I'm just not a big Broncos believer, I guess. That
Yeah.
defense is legit. There's no debating that, but I don't trust their offense to be consistent enough. They might put up a dud. They might, kind of hibernate for 3 quarters and then try to make a comeback at the end. They've done that throughout the year as well. But yeah, I'm just gonna take Josh Allen. I'm gonna hop on the train with you there and roll with the Bills in this one. I'd be curious to see if they can get James Cook going. That'll be a big factor if they can make the Broncos respect the run game enough to potentially hold off that pass rush a little bit and get Josh Allen some opportunities to make some plays.
Yeah.
Um, Next up is Niners Seahawks. Rematch from just a couple weeks ago with the 1 seed on the line in Seattle. Seattle shut the Niners down last time, and I think they're going to do it again. I know you're all yay 49ers over there. I'm not buying it. They got too many injuries. Kittle's gone too now, and the Seahawks defense is relentless. My only hesitation is what Sam Darnold are we going to get? Is he going to choke, or is he going to be the guy he's been all season for the most part? If he can play an average game, I like the Seahawks in this one. But Darnold, to me, is the wild card there of will we see, similar to last year with the Vikings, playoff collapse from him.
Yeah, I like San Francisco. By no means is this going to be a blowout in my opinion. I think the Seattle defense is yeah, I mean they're gonna slow Brock Purdy down, I think, a little bit. I think Brock Purdy can figure that out. I think Brock Purdy will learn a little bit from last time they played and what that defense did. I think the San Francisco defense is gonna play better as well, and I think That's going to be the issue for Sam Darnold. I have two worries with Sam Darnold. My first issue is when he is pressured, he struggles, right? We saw that in Minnesota last year, the last couple games of the regular season, the first game of the in the wild card round last year. I mean, he struggled because they got pressure. It was Seattle actually got pressure on him. I have the same worry this year. I think if San Francisco can get in the backfield, get pressure, get in his face, I think he's going to struggle. I think I have the same worry also that I do with Denver. They had a first round bye last week. They have, they're maybe a little too rested, might be a little bit rusty coming out. One of the best things I saw from the 49ers this last week against Philadelphia is that first possession of the game. It took them, they walked down the field methodically. I mean, and they scored in, I think it was 4 or 5 plays. I mean, it was just a great first drive. If the 49ers can do that again on Sunday, I think they can win the game. I think that first couple drives is really going to matter for San Francisco. Get off to a good start, walk them down the field, let that defense know that you can score, and I think the whole game plan is going to change for Seattle.
Yeah, I agree with you there. If they come out and throw the first punch and put the pressure on the Seahawks, take the crowd out of it, it's going to be loud there. And put the pressure on Sam Darnold to go win the game for the Seahawks. That's a recipe for success for the Niners. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that one. I think it'll be a good game and
game.
a lot of fun to watch. So next up, we have the Texans and the Patriots. You can share your thoughts on this one.
Yeah. I think that'll be a defensive battle. I mean, obviously, we've talked about the Texans' defense. I think the Patriots' defense is good. I think both quarterbacks are going to struggle. I think Drake May, is going to best the Texans there. I think that offensively he'll figure it out a little bit more before CJ Stroud does. CJ Stroud worried me a lot yesterday watching that game. I mean, he doesn't look good. I mean, he did enough to win the game, but you put that mainly on the defense. Obviously, he threw a touchdown or two, and I think he threw a touchdown in there yesterday. But yeah, I worry about him against a better team and how that goes. I think Drake May figures it out. The Patriots win, but I think it'll be a pretty defensive showdown.
Yeah. If CJ Stroud could play as well, like 80% as well as he did his rookie year, and just be like a good to very good quarterback, this Texans team I might pick him for the Super Bowl, but he has not shown that at all this year, and last week was as shaky as it can get. So that's why I like the Patriots in this one as well. Their defense is going to make it tough on the Texans offense, and yeah, I like Drake May to make 1 or 2 plays, big plays, whether it's making something happen with his legs or finding someone with a perfect deep ball in contested coverage. And that's the difference. Patriots get the win in a more low scoring game. So yeah, I think it just comes down to that. So
I agree.
All right, and then last one of the week here is Rams Bears. Prasan, you can go first. I'll save my pleasant opinion of the Bears for after you go.
Yeah. I think this game's going to be in the Rams' favor most of the game. I mean, I think the first quarter might even feel like the Packer game where it's, hey, Rams are doing really, really well. I think the Bears all year have been a second half team. I think they're going to make a push in the second half. This game in general is going to come down to hopefully Matthew Stafford's okay. I know he's got a hand injury and it sounds like he's going to play, but hopefully he's full strength. Caleb Williams, as we saw, kind of you mentioned earlier, that fourth quarter pass that he made in the Packer game was incredible. And then you know what he did the play after that? He airmailed one over Colston Loveland's head. So Caleb Williams is going to have to play with some consistency to beat the Rams. He's going to have to play probably the best game that he's played in his career so far, and he's played some good ones. I think he's going to have to play better than that. Devontae Adams back now. You'd think he didn't play great last week. You'd think he's going to have some rust shaken off and he'll play better. Puka Nakua, obviously, great year. Matthew Stafford loves the tight ends and playing with Parkinson and Higbee. So I think offensively they're going to have a pretty good game. I don't think Kyron Williams and Blake Corum have a great game. I think the Bears defense will stop them. Which should open up some opportunities for Caleb Williams. So I think it'll be a closer game at the finish, but the Rams, unlike the Packers, they got to keep their foot down and keep rolling and make sure that they're doing everything that they can to keep the Bears from being in a position to all of a sudden storm back and win the game.
Yeah, I think you said it pretty well. I really like the Rams in this one. I think the Packers showed that this Bears team can be dominated. It's a matter of doing it for 4 quarters, and I trust Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, and the rest of that team. They've won a Super Bowl, Stafford and McVay, and they know what it takes. They know you don't get there by playing not to lose. So I like them to come out with an early lead, with the Bears offense starting slow like they often tend to. And I don't care if the Bears offense catches fire in the second half. Rams are just going to keep scoring. So
Yeah.
I like the Rams. I think they will keep the pedal down, learn from the Packers' mistakes, and draw off their experience and take care of the Bears and move on to the championship game. So yeah, that sums it up for the divisional round. Do you want to give or tell us about your lock of the week last week? I think you had the Patriots, if I remember right, and then give us your lock for this upcoming week.
Yeah, Patriots money line. They covered that, I guess, pretty well. Again, disappointing game, but yeah, they won. So I'm 1-0 and locks of the week, and obviously, like we said, 6-0 for the playoff picks last week. So
Should have
yeah,
had a parlay on that.
Shame on me. Unfortunately, that would have paid. That would have paid a fair amount. Yeah, you're right. So my lock of the week this week, I like San Francisco plus 7.5. So I think they win the game, but if we're putting it on a lock, I like them plus 7.5. I think it's gonna be a close game.
All right. I didn't look at that spread. That's bigger than I expected it to be. 7.5 is pretty big. So yeah, I could get down with riding that with you. For me, last week I had the Packers-Bears game going over 45.5. We ended up with, I think, 58 points. Kind of that slow start, and it went really exactly how I projected it to be. Slow start. Bears offense catches fire in the second half. Packers had some explosive plays in there, and yeah, the over easily covers. So I'm 1-0 as well. And then for this week, I believe the line is Rams minus 3.5. I'm smashing it. Screw the Bears. Maybe I'm just on tilt, but yeah, like I was saying before, the Rams are gonna get out to a lead, and they're just gonna keep the pedal down. And I just think the Bears' magic runs out. The only way the Bears win this game or cover that spread is if Stafford has multiple interceptions, in my opinion, or other fluky turnovers somewhere in there, because that's
Sure.
the Bears have had just a massive turnover differential this year. So that's if they can dial that up in this game, that's their way of surviving that. But otherwise, I really like the Rams to cover.
I like it.
So yeah. Meanwhile, college football's going on. just if you want to take it whatever way you want, college football playoffs going on.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
We've had some good college football playoff games. I think when we moved to the 12 team playoff, I initially was fairly skeptical because I thought coming into it, you're going to have, we had the 4 team playoff, and even in the 4 team playoff, you had blowouts happening. I mean, you had blowouts happening, and they weren't good games, and at times, and I was worried, you have a 12 team playoff, then, oh my gosh, these are going to be just terrible games until maybe you get down to the final 4 or so. It's been nice. It's been a lot different than I expected. We did have a couple in the first round, not as great games, but then we got to 8 teams, and at 8 teams, we got some good games there. I think we've got 2 good teams in the college football playoff final. I would have liked to see Ole Miss in there. That would have been it would have been fun. They're a really high scoring team, and I was rooting for them for a little bit there, but tough loss they had. So let's talk about the game on the 19th of January here of what that playoff game is going to be for the final. So we've got Miami on one end and we've got Indiana on the other. My first thoughts on this is just what a come up story for Indiana. I mean, we're looking at just within the last 2 to 3 years, even. It's not even like this took a long time for them. I mean, obviously they've been rebuilding, but all of a sudden they were good, and then they were good, and then it's like, oh, we're in the national championship game. So I obviously got the Heisman winner. Mendoza over there. I like Mendoza. I like the whole Indiana team feels just destined. They feel destined to win. Every part of that team is good. Defensively, offensively, the receivers, the running backs. I mean, every part of that team is really good. And now you've got Miami coming in. And with Miami, it's a little bit different. I like on Miami, I think they've got a really good receiver in Tony. I think they've got Carson Beck, who's been playing well. But Miami, what excites me about Miami is their defense. The Miami defense is just out of their mind good. And so all of a sudden you've got kind of a gridlock here of you've got a really good defense versus a really, really good offense. And so what wins the game to me is Indiana going to be able to put up points? I think they're going to. I think this game actually is not going to be as close as some people are making it seem. I think Indiana wins this game by quite a bit and pretty favorably. I think it might take them a little bit of time to figure out the Miami defense, but over time, I think they'll figure it out. I trust Mendoza. I think what he's going to do is be able to pick apart the defense.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it might take them some time to figure it out. I'm curious to see if they've got a good enough plan in place for that pass rush. Ruben Bain and whoever the other guy coming off the edges. That's a fearsome duo. I don't remember his name, but they gotta find a way to keep Mendoza upright, or they're gonna be in a lot of trouble. But I mean, really overall, Indiana, they just back-to-back weeks made Alabama and Oregon look like JV squads out there. Like, this team is for real. They, in my opinion, if they go on to win this game, they put themselves in the conversation with like 2019 LSU of like, holy cow, just dominated everyone this season. So yeah, I like Indiana to win it. They just seem to not have any weaknesses and are strong everywhere. So it's hard to pick against them. They're a fun team to root for. I mean, Kurt Signetian is just glares over on the sideline. It should be a fun game, but I think Indiana might pull away here and end up with a double-digit win.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at an Indiana team that, to go back to the Big Ten championship, they, they beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship. Prior to that, or Ohio State rather, they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Prior to that, they're coming into the season undefeated. And then all of a sudden you go and, like you said, Alabama and then Oregon. And people expected them to lose that Ohio State game in the Big Ten championship. They won that, obviously. And then, the test for them, I think, was the Oregon game. And they played very, very well in that game. Especially coming off of the Alabama game. And so now, looking at them as the team that they are, I think they're in a prime position to win this game. And like you said, I think they win it by double digits. I think it's close for a while, and then I think Indiana will pull it out.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one more comment, kind of going back to just the playoffs in general and the landscape of college football. With NIL going on and everything, I mean, people are really concerned with the state of the league and just the rich getting richer type of situation.
Sure.
But man, parity is back. Indiana is in the national championship game. Miami's back. I mean, this year really gives a lot of promise for the sport going forward, as far as anybody can still win in college football. It's still just a bunch of 18 to 22-year-olds out there. Well, maybe 24, 25-year-olds now, but with eligibility. But it's still just young guys out there, and it's anybody's game, and any season is anyone's for the taking. So that's really exciting. I know viewership of college football has been skyrocketing, and
Yeah.
it's the product on the field. You can see why. It's fun to watch. So yeah, I'm just really excited about that. And then I just wanted to talk a little bit about Mendoza, Heisman. A lot of people are assuming he's going to be an Oakland or Vegas Raider with the first overall pick. Do you have any thoughts on him as an NFL quarterback?
I think he's gonna be good. I think he showed enough in college that makes it look like he'll be a good NFL quarterback. I mean, the way he's able to read the defense, he can run, he can pass. And the thing about Indiana too is they're a really well-rounded team, obviously, and this is what is hard going from college football to playing in the NFL is you sometimes, obviously, the really, really good players end up going to really bad teams. That's how it works out. And so I think there's talent in Vegas offensively. I think their defense is not good. I think they've got a good build in Ashton Genty. I think they've got Brock Bowers, obviously. Where it's gonna be an issue is the wide receivers there, obviously, right? And that's obviously not good for a quarterback. I think though, some of the schemes they can run up if you get good coaching there and you're able to develop schemes for the running back, obviously. For Bowers at tight end. You also have receivers this year there who did make plays. They're not your ideal receivers that you're going to want to win the Super Bowl with, but that'll obviously come with time if you make the right moves. But I mean, you got Trey Tucker there. He made plays all year. You've got a couple other guys there that have made plays. So I think if you're a good enough quarterback in the NFL, you're going to make it happen. I think he's going to have to get creative. The coaching staff's going to get creative, but I think if you're going to want to build around a team or build around players rather for a team, I like Mendoza to do that. You've got a good running back in Genty. I like Brock Bowers. Those are good core pieces to have on the offense, and now just build around it.
Yeah. We have plenty of examples showing that it doesn't just matter about the quarterback when you're drafting a quarterback. The organization matters, the team around him matters, and the coaching matters. And they don't have a head coach right now. I think it'd be really fun if they get Mendoza in there and bring in someone like Mike McDaniel to just scheme up some great plays for them. Great offensive mind, and I'm not good at figuring out which college quarterbacks are going to be good in the NFL. I thought Michael Penix Jr. was going to be the best quarterback from his class. I thought that Justin Herbert was going to be a complete bust. Um, and there's other examples too, but I'm not good at it. But so I'm kind of unsure what to think of Mendoza. But I think, given the right circumstances and opportunities, I think he could definitely be a solid starter at the least.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's hard. Picking quarterbacks out of college of who's going to be good and who's not is very difficult. Um, Because even the thing, like, the point you made earlier about C.J. Stroud, I mean, he came in and a couple years into his a couple years after his rookie season, I mean, he was really good. He played really really well, and now it almost looks like he's regressed, and that's a troubling thing because with C.J. Stroud, it was kind of like, oh, maybe he's going to be like really good for a while. It was like, oh, he's like the one Ohio State quarterback that's going to be really good coming out of the draft and in the NFL. And now it looks like he's regressed. I mean, I think he's still good, but I think there has been some regression there. So it's hard to tell who's going to be good coming out of college, going into the NFL. You look at all these things, but you never really can tell until you start to see him play. And again, it all matters too. It's not just it's where you end up, and it's coaching and the players you have around you and all that kind of good stuff. So
Yeah, I think that's a good summary of it. I mean, do you have any other college football thoughts, or if not there, any other NFL thoughts or anything else in the sports world to throw out there before we wrap this thing up?
no, I mean, I think next week we can come back and obviously debrief the divisional round, talk about championship weekend. But I think next week we can go into a little bit more of the head coach firings in the NFL. We can go more into the NFL coaching carousel and what that looks like. And, hopefully at that point, too, we've had a couple coaches land at certain places or start to, have some serious meetings and things like that. So I think that'll be exciting for us to do. And, kind of go from there next week.
Yeah, sounds great. That'll be a great episode. Like you said, next week we'll be back. Yeah, till then, we'll catch you guys later.